Today's video is going to be about the decline of modern graded Pokemon cards. We're seeing less margin between raw near mint and grading versus the PSA 10 prices. And on PSA 9s, we're basically seeing no margin at all. And if you're selling PSA 9s at the moment, you're probably losing money. And I've seen some negativity around this. I've seen people talking about their graded cards not moving. I've basically seen people complaining about others not buying their slabs. And today, I'm going to explain why this is happening. Now, before I start the video and get into the detail, I did want to remind you of my affiliate codes with Palms Off Gaming and Cardboard Guardian. They'll be in the description below and on my About Me section on my YouTube channel. So getting into today's video, like I mentioned at the start, we're seeing a lot of the margin that was previously there even 6 to 12 months ago on cards disappear in mint PSA 10 prices. We're seeing the raw, near mint plus grading basically being similar across a lot of cards to what you would get just buying the cards outright. So the first market plays, they're still there. I definitely have seen that in with my own selling on eBay and other platforms. I am seeing that you can still sell something like as soon as Obsidian Flames came out, I graded the gold Charizard and I was able to sell that for quite a premium. But since then, that price has come off like $150. And so the key thing here is that between raw plus grading versus PSA 10 prices, there's basically no margin across cards. And a lot of people are freaking out about this. So this isn't probably your collector freaking out about it, but it's your flipper, it's your store owner, it's your side business, it's people who have graded Pokemon cards for a long while now. And myself included, I flip cards onto market. I personally have seen the slowdown and the margin close in on graded cards. So what happened before was there was like this huge demand for graded Pokemon cards, particularly around 2020 during the Logan Paul hype. Everyone was chasing graded Pokemon cards. Everyone was sending graded Pokemon cards in. And what's happened over time is that the supply has actually caught up with the demand. So PSA is at an all-time record of grading cards, collectibles. They're grading like 1 million TCG products per month. So there's like 12 million collectibles being graded per year by PSA. Prices have come down. They're turning cards around in like 40 days. I've had my last couple of subs have been 40 to 50 day turnaround time. Like there's this insane turnaround time happening and the prices are continuing to drop. We just had the February special, which was $13.99. I see by the end of the year, we'll see that come down to maybe $12 or even $10 for PSA specials, which will be awesome for collectors, awesome for people grading cards for their collection, because that means we're going to be saving a couple $100 Australian prices, that is. And so now there's like this equilibrium basically where things are all the same price. Now this means that it's not really worth grading PSA 10s anymore. So what I'm seeing is, even personally, I'm seeing people not grade as much as they would have. People being really selective about the cards they send. And I think people have to become quite perfect at sending submissions. Like you want to be getting 75% to 80% on your returns. Otherwise, it's not really worth grading cards anymore. Now for collectors, for you collectors out there, for me, I'm collecting, you're collecting, there's a lot of people collecting. For the collectors out there, now is the time to start buying modern PSA 10s. And you're like, whoa, Brody, you've always told me buy raw and grade because it's going to be cheaper than buying the PSA 10 outright. I know, I said that before, and I stand by that a lot of the time, but I think now, more than ever, is a really good time. If you want to collect modern PSA 10s, in saying that, do your research, make sure you do research into this stuff, but I think now is the perfect time to buy modern graded PSA 10s because they're just as cheap as grading raw yourself. You take out all the risk, you take out all the hassle of sending cards. It's just becoming the more obvious, better option. Now, I want to give a really good example, and this is a personal example of mine where someone reached out to me, Gogi Collectibles. I don't know if you guys know Gogi, but he's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, he's a really good guy. He's also collecting a PSA 10 Alt Art set. He reached out to me last week because he had just got in a Glaceon V, PSA 10 from Evolving Skies. Now, he and I, we go back and forth, we talk a bit about graded cards and that, talk about Sword and Shield Alt Arts because we're both trying to collect it. I'm obviously trying to self-grade them all, but Gogi's been buying them outright. So he sent me this picture, he said, look, latest one I got. I'm like, sweet. First thing I think, I'm like, how much did you pay for this? So I'm like, Gogi, what'd you pay for it? And he's like, the guy was trying to get rid of it. I got it for 130. And in my head, I'm like, holy crap, that is cheap. I had a couple of days before that been talking to someone about buying the same card, a Glaceon V Raw, for $100. Now, If you've heard me talk about it before, PSA grading for Australians, all inclusive of cost, is about $30 per card. You do the cost on that, Gogi and I would be paying the exact same price, but Gogi is avoiding the hassle, avoiding the risk of getting a PSA 9, and all he's doing is just getting a PSA 10 Glaceon. So this is a perfect example. Gogi is literally a perfect example of why now I think it is a perfect time to buy PSA 10 modern graded Pokemon cards if that's what you're into. So I want to know what you think of this. Do you think it is worth still buying raw, near mint and grading it yourself, or should you just go out and buy the PSA 10s? Me personally, I'm still trying to do the Sword and Shield Alt-Art set self-graded, so I'm going to continue down that path, particularly for the cards that have a lot of margin, like the Giratinas, the Machamps, the Charizards, the Lugias. There is still quite a lot of margin there, so this doesn't work, for every single card to buy them in PSA 10. But if you do your research and you can find the cards, it's definitely happening now. This equilibrium has been achieved. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Brody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.